Welcome to CrashMagic. Do as I do card tricks are great fun and always give good interaction with the spectator. I've got a video showing the performance and tutorial of one that needs no setup on my channel, so if you're interested in that, take a look. The only problem with most do as I do tricks is that you need 2 packs of cards, and you might not always have 2 packs of cards to hand. In this video I'm going to show you a do as I do type card trick that only needs 1 pack of cards. Now you do need to be sat opposite your spectator at a table for this one, and because of that I'm going to skip the trick performance and go straight into the tutorial. So as I mentioned, you need to be sat across the table with your spectator, but we only need 1 pack of ordinary cards. There's a very small setup. We just need to get 2 matching cards at the bottom of the pack. So it doesn't matter which 2 cards you use. Let's use 2 red kings. So you place them at the bottom of your pack. So that's your setup complete. Now you can false shuffle the cards at this point as you're introducing the trick, keeping those bottom 2 cards in place. But as you'll see in a bit, we're going to give the impression of shuffling the cards during the trick itself anyway. So you don't need to do this if you don't want to. If you do want to shuffle at the start, there's lots of ways you can do this, but here's 3 easy ways that this can be done. So you could riffle shuffle the cards, and all you need to do is when you split the cards, make sure you know where the bottom half of the pack is, and as you riffle them, just make sure those bottom 2 cards at least hit the table before you mix the rest of the cards in. That way keeping those 2 matching cards at the bottom. Another way you could do this is to overhand shuffle. So you just overhand shuffle as normal, but then instead of dropping the last bit of the pack on top as you normally would, you just drop it underneath. So again, you keep your 2 cards in place. Or one other nice way of doing it is you could do a Hindu shuffle. Now with the Hindu shuffle, you just take small packets off the top of the pile, and then normally you'd carry on right to the end and drop the last part of the pack on top, but in this case you'd place it underneath. Now that can look a little bit awkward, so another way of doing this, which I think is slightly nicer, is instead of just pulling away a small packet from the top as you normally would, you pull away the centre section, keeping a small packet at the top and the bottom, so you've already got your matching cards at the bottom, and then you just carry on shuffling as normal, and you can completely riffle shuffle as normal. So if we do that sort of more full speed, it's a lot cleaner. It looks really convincing, but you've kept your 2 bottom cards in place. Okay, so once you've done your setup and false shuffle the cards if you want to, the next thing you need to do is ask your spectator to cut off roughly half of the cards and take that top half for themselves. It doesn't matter how many they cut off as long as it's roughly half. So you then take the bottom half with of course the 2 matching cards and put them underneath the table, and you ask your spectator to put their half under the table as well. So all this next part of the trick happens under the table. So you ask your spectator to shuffle their half of the cards, and that you're going to do the same. So of course, hidden under the table, you can easily shuffle your cards, but make sure that you keep again those 2 matching cards at the bottom, because the key thing is the spectator will hear you shuffling the cards, and now you can see why shuffling the cards right at the start of the trick isn't actually necessary. So when you've both shuffled your cards, what I then do as well is I get the bottom card ready. So I get the bottom card as I've completed my shuffle. I will then slip out a bottom card and hold it with the pack in one hand like this under the table, and then you ask your spectator to take a random card from their pack. They can take any card, it doesn't make any difference, and ask them to hand it to you under the table. So they hand it to you and you take it in your free hand, and then say, oh hang on, you needed to look at your card. here's your card back, and you pass them this bottom card, one of the matching cards, under the table, so they'll take it straight back. So in having this card ready, you can do this really quickly. You take that card, say, oh hang on, have you looked at your other card? No, take it back then, and you can give it them back within a second. If you don't get that bottom card ready, what you find is they give you the card, you say, oh hang on, you need to look at your card. You put it on top of the pack, you have to get the bottom card out and pass it back, and that delay and also the sound of the cards moving under the table can give them can make them realise that you're switching the cards. Whereas if you have that bottom card ready, as soon as they hand it, you can say, oh no, you need to look at that card, and they take it straight back and there'll be no suspicion. So they take one of those matching cards back, and then you ask them to look at it. So they bring it up from underneath the table and have a look at it. So once the spectators looked at and remembered their card, you ask them to pass it you under the table again. You take it and you say, right, I'm going to turn this under the table face up and place it into the middle of my pack, which is exactly what you do. You then tell the spectator that you're going to take a random card from your pile. Of course, you just take the bottom card, which is the other matching king, and you pass that under the table face down to your spectator. They take it and you ask them to turn that face up and place it into the middle of their pile of cards. You now both bring your piles of cards out onto the table, and first thing you do is show your cards, and the card that they pass you, the King of Hearts, is of course face up in the pile, as they knew that it would be. But then for the grand finale, you ask them to spread their cards and show that the face up card in their pile, that was randomly chosen from your pile, is the matching card. Well, that's the end of the video. If you liked it, please like it and subscribe. If you've got any comments, leave them down below, and see you soon.